Okay, we'll call to order the special city council meeting Monday, October 30th, 5:30 PM. Roll call.
Toby Nelson.
Michelle Otto.
Kirby Moyna.
Sam Solars. David Paradise.
Jessica Bonniwell.
On to business. The first order of business we have is the First Children's Finance Child Care Opportunities discussion with the public. So if there's any members of the public that just have any questions or would like to add discussion to this, just please come up to the podium and state your name and address for the record.
Okay, Mayor and Council, we'll just run through the PowerPoint presentation that staff prepared for this. The purpose of this is to try and get community members involved with our EDA in order to get First Children's Finance, either education or funding assistance or both. We'll kind of run through some of that. We're going to do a program overview, talk about some next steps. First Children's Finance offers financing and education opportunities to communities in rural areas based on need. Childcare is essential to community health, and First Children's Finance partners with communities using local policy, local assets, and local funding to create a robust supply of childcare. First Children's Finance offers programs such as the Rural Child Care Innovation Program, which actually the city of Waverly has participated in and gotten some funding opportunities through this program. First Children's Finance offers consulting services to create community-based solutions to develop strategic child care supply plans. Feel free to interrupt and approach the podium if you have any questions or want to say anything. Some consultation services that would be available for communities if we were going to get assistance from First Children's Finance for this program. They would do a child care supply analysis, a strategic supply plan for communities. They would recommend sustainable child care business models, offer technical expertise on local policy and financial incentives, do a child care market analysis with a strategic plan for the city and the community, guidance for public-private partnerships to build and maintain supply of child care. The Rural Child Care Innovation Program, this is the one that the city of Waverly has participated in. Their goals are to strengthen existing early child care and education businesses, ensuring that children have continuity of care that prepares them for success. They want to expand the availability of quality childcare by creating new and innovative community solutions and increase the regional and statewide public awareness of early care and education's role in rural economic development. Is more childcare needed in Montrose? According to the 2016-2020 U.S. Census, Montrose is short almost 200 spots for childcare available here in the community. First Children's Finance and the Rural Child Care Innovation Program Impact. These are things that they have already done in the recent years to help rural areas with childcare needs. The program is funded by the Minnesota Department of Human Services to address challenges of rural childcare through the lens of economic development. As of 2020, 31 communities have participated in the Rural Child Care Innovation process. 1,001 new child care slots have been created as of June 2020. Over 83% of existing child care programs participated in the Rural Child Care Innovation business leadership cohorts improved their business practices. Why should Montrose participate? Communities with identified child care challenges impacting economic development in their community should consider applying for the Rural Child Care Innovation Program. Child care shortages have a broad impact beyond the family and communities, and they need to address these issues with right-sized solutions that meet the unique aspects of each community. Our next steps, so our first step would be to gather interest from the community to develop a core team to drive that change. Without this core team, the First Children's Finance does not work with communities. They have to have a core team in order to get these things kind of running off the ground. They want to see an interest and support from the community in which they would be going into. Then they would do a thorough analysis of the community's current childcare gaps and needs. This is a pretty detailed process, and it gives the community a lot of good information on the childcare and the ages and all of the childcare needs within the community. Once the need analysis is completed, you would then be able to have use of the First Children's Finance expertise, their resources, tools, including research and financial modeling. They would then help develop a community solution action plan that includes innovative solutions to increase the supply of high quality and affordable childcare. Educational and/or financial support and business improvement services to existing family child care providers and child care centers through consulting resources would be available at the end of this process with First Children's Finance. We think it would be a really great opportunity for the community. The need for childcare is definitely there. The City Council and EDA feel this is an important thing, and we would just need more support from the community. Does have anything to say? Do you guys have any questions or comments or ideas? We've just had trouble getting interest.
Yeah. What's your guys' view on how to, or what kind of programs would you want to include in Montrose that you would work with them? I don't, it's not your question. Yes, what's your idea right now on what programs you would want to include in Montrose to support the childcare needs? Like, do you guys have an idea on the programs you would want, or type of programs?
I think we would like to see some more like in-home centers. There also a possibility for like a childcare center, that kind of funding. But I think that would all be based on what we find out from a needs analysis, and we would have to go from there.
And bringing them in would bring support to already established childcare in homes as well. So I mean,
Yeah.
if they needed extra support, or like they said in there too, like helping with business models, then they're there for that as well. They would just be, you know, a resource for the city and for the individuals.
Yeah, we want to help the existing childcare facilities as well as hopefully get some new ones here to help create some spots for kids.
I know they've worked with a couple of communities, so I've worked with them. I used to be an in-home
Okay,
in Montrose, and then I'm kind of using their consulting for a possible project idea
great.
that wouldn't actually be in this community just because the need is, it would just, right now the project would be better in, unfortunately, a closer town to the cities. If that project would work out, which it would be like a 2-year-old project, then I would want to bring it to our community, different communities. So I know they work, so knowing them, I know they have worked with communities already to do like city-owned programs. Did they talk about any of those, or do you guys have ideas or thoughts on wanting to do that? Like the city owns a property, from what I understand, the city has owned a property, and then they have the city has rented out that space to providers, which makes it more affordable for the providers, and then is adding spots to the community for children. Have they talked about that?
There really hasn't been much discussion, because until you have the core team of like 15 to 20 people, they basically just say, here's our videos to watch, and you can go to like their seminars and read all the info. But kind of what we've been told is that until you have that group of people, that they don't want to really entertain a conversation if there's not community support. That's my understanding of it.
Yeah,
And knowing them too, I feel like that's kind of what they kind of do.
Yeah.
And I know, like right now, if you are an individual provider, you can reach out to them right now, even without them coming and being in the community with this. So just kind of pointing that out to providers. But I mean, obviously you want the core team to do other stuff, but it's just not, you know, they can still get those services for free,
That's good to
even
know.
without.
Yeah, that's good to know. Yeah.
Did they come to you guys, or did you go to them? I don't know.
I believe it came from,
Jolene.
yeah, from a Wright County Economic Development Partnership. Jolene from Wright County, she mentioned it because Waverly had participated in the Rural Child Care Innovation Program, and said that that might be something that Montrose would benefit from and want to start looking into. But then they said, from an EDA standpoint, from coming from economic development, we would have to get that core team for the community support, because we're not obviously individual childcare providers. So we'd have to get that support in order to go through it the EDA way.
Besides this meeting, sorry, that's the only question. Besides this meeting, do you guys have other ways that you kind of want to get this information out there, or something like we could support with?
And that's kind of the gist of the start of this whole thing. I mean, I know we tried to talk with the school. It didn't meet their requirements to basically be a handout for that, but basically trying to get the word out now to start drumming up interest so that we can get this group started. I know that as part of EDA, that's a big goal of ours, is to get this going and accomplish that, and do something, because we want to, support the ones that are here that are providing it, but then also see where the gaps are and see if we can figure out a plan to ensure that every kid has a place to go.
Yeah, so this was kind of our first try to see if there was any interest. It's good to see there's some. And then I don't know if you guys have contacts out in the community, and we could try to have another meeting again in another month or two and try again, just until we get kind of enough number of people so that we can move forward and tell First Children's Finance, like, hey, we have these people, they're supporting us, we're ready to move forward.
I think, because I was just thinking of, you can get like the list of providers' information just from.
And I did mail people individual
Oh, you did?
notices. Yeah, I tried to get that list from Wright County, yeah, so.
I know sometimes the concern for private childcare is like, well, if the county, if the city has a program, then
Yeah.
they're taking the funds away from me privately, so I mean.
And we're trying not to push anybody out or do anything like that, so, and we want everybody to know that, so,
That's more of a statement, I guess, for my brainstorming on like.
yeah. How to get people, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I know with Waverly, their EDA put together kind of a plan to get some of these new places started up, or even help existing by using some of the funds within EDA. And that was kind of an idea that I wanted to drive into our EDA at Montrose, is we can be a little bit of a support barrier there as well, if we can move forward with First Children's Finance. I know they had a program with us, I think, licensure and stuff like that. So, there's other options that they kind of help guide the EDA to help with it too, so we can be providing as well.
Can I ask what contact you have for, is it Stephanie? Through the First Children's Finance?
You'd have to ask Sonia.
Yeah, Sonia.
She was the one
Yeah,
who did
one
it.
of our EDA members was the one that contacted them directly about it. I'll have to ask her who to contact.
And maybe I could, because Stephanie is who I've been working with too, and maybe I could kind of ask more information to brainstorm on how to.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
And it doesn't just have to be providers. It could be parents, anybody that's part of the community. So if you guys know anybody else that, has a need, wants to be a part of it, wants to be part of this change, I mean, it's like I
Or
said,
just supports it.
support it, we can get this off the ground. That'd be huge.
What's the commitment for?
That's it's,
Good question.
Yeah, I mean,
We're not
it-
100% sure. We're
I-
expecting it to be lengthy.
Yeah.
But probably not,
I don't think it'd be like a monthly
No,
thing by any
yeah.
means, but it'd be more or less kind of,
As
I think,
needed.
as needed, kind of working through First Children's Finance. We can reach out to Waverly and see what that process was for them.
and I think the different things, like it'll take them a while to do a needs analysis kind
Yeah.
of thing. And then we'll probably meet back up and talk about that. And then it would be the next step, and then we would meet back up and talk about that. So I think it would just kind of come in chunks as quickly as it would, as the steps could be moved forward.
This probably is a weird question, but just for if somebody kind of talks about details, like any reimbursement on time or anything for this team, or,
Probably not.
I mean, I know it probably is a no, I just wanted to ask just so I have the information.
Yeah, nothing that we've discussed at all.
Yeah, we have not discussed.
No, the only thing they say is they want that core team of volunteers, so whatever the,
Because, I would assume that reimbursement would have to come through EDA.
Yeah. That's something that if we get a group, we can
Discuss.
definitely discuss.
Almost being like a commission member or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a contact that I could get if I have any more questions for all of this?
I think I have some cards. Let me get you one.
if there aren't any other questions, then whether it's from the public or council, we'll move on to our next order of business. Purchase agreement for Preserve.
Mayor and council, microphone's off. Mayor and council, included in the packet for this evening is the entire purchase agreement for the Preserve, as well as a resolution 2023-34, if you would like to approve that tonight.
Are there any questions on the purchase agreement?
Jess, do they have a timeline on when they might want to start, if this is approved?
So after the purchase agreement is signed, they have a 90-day due diligence period, which I think they're also going to be moving forward with like a TIP application at the same time. I would anticipate they would maybe start doing land prep next year, if everything goes well.
Was there a closing date?
I don't think there was one set before this because it wasn't approved.
Fair enough.
Because that will just go through the title company once it's signed.
Any other questions on the purchase agreement?
No, I got nothing. Ready to move on with the Preserve.
Yep.
You want a motion?
Yeah, if someone would like to make a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2023-34, a resolution approving purchase and sale of agreement for the sale of the city-owned property to JPB Land LLC.
I'll second.
Further discussion? I'll vote aye. Mr. Solars?
Aye.
Mr. Paradise?
Aye.
Mr. Nelson?
Aye.
Ms. Otto?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. We're adjourned.
Short and sweet.
Okay.